Unleash the power of purpose with impactful business voices, hosted by Nancy Baki and Anita Larsen. Each week, you'll be inspired by stories from companies that are making a real difference in the world, and you'll learn practical tips on how to grow your business with an impact.
Hi, and welcome, and thank you for joining us at the Impactful Business Voices podcast, where every week we talk to a business owner that makes an impact on the world, in their communities, or in the lives of their clients. So we're here to find out what drives them and hope that it inspires you to make an impact in your own business as well. So we are your hosts. I'm Anita Larsen.
And I'm Nancy Baki. And today we are joined by Russ Johns. I mean, for those that come and see us weekly, you know Russ Johns is our podcast producer. We would not be here without him. He's our business partner. He's a longtime friend. He's a seasoned expert in podcasting and live streaming, and he's the founder of Pirate Syndicate. He's a master at helping creators amplify their message and build their brand online. So today we're going to be discussing a really, really important topic. It's content creation and how to cultivate your own tribe in this area of individual marketing. So whether you're an entrepreneur or a seasoned professional, this episode is going to be packed with insights from a man that has lots of wisdom and experience on creating systems, processes, and automations to grow your brand. So let's get started. Let's have some fun. Russ, welcome to the show.
Hey there.
Welcome. I'm here.
Welcome.
I made it.
In front of the camera, not behind.
In front of the camera. You know, I've been in front of the camera. I've been behind the camera, and I enjoy both sides. So thank you so much for having me on the show today.
Well, we enjoy having you in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's really an exciting time because, you know, we're wrapping up. We're going into the last month of the last quarter of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into 2024. And I think this is a great message for a lot of business owners to actually think about and consider is how are you going to become visible and make an impact in your business in 2024? What tools are you going to use? And I think we want to talk about that today. So, you know, that's one of the topics that I want to share with everyone in your audience.
So, and, you know, like we said earlier, you and I can talk content like all day long, but I want to introduce you a little more to the audience before we even dive into that topic. So I want you to share kind of the story about the Pirate Syndicate. So what do you do? What inspired you to do what you're doing right now? And how do you get into this?
Thank you for asking that, because there's a lot of confusion. It's like, why a pirate? And the reality is I started in advertising business in 1985. I know it seems like a long time. However, the reality is that I was in radio and television, broadcasting, outdoor, you know, billboards, and I fell in 1987 and 3 stories off a billboard. And so through a series of long events and activities, I was off on, you know, workers' comp for 2 years. And I was really about the idea that we can actually go through and create, you know, a new life for myself. I was a drummer previously, and I just wanted to make sure that we were actually putting things in place. And it's like, what am I going to do? So I got involved in technology, and in the radio business. If you're not broadcasting with a license, you're considered a pirate broadcaster.
Yeah.
And in Houston, I was managing radio stations, and I was live streaming high school varsity sports with broadcasters over to AM radio. And it was kind of a pirate thing to do because nobody else was doing it. And then when I started creating more content, I took on the name of the Pirate Broadcast. As I started doing interviews every day, I was doing daily interviews Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Arizona time. And I did almost 600 episodes of the Pirate Broadcast. And that's kind of what started the process. And it's grown into a newsletter, membership, and a number of different websites that contributors can actually add to and be included in. And I think it's about building community right now rather than just shouting to the world and hoping somebody hears you. It's more about building relationships rather than broadcasting. But but we're all pirates now because we're able to broadcast without a license. And so it kind of a circular thought that, okay, let's be a pirate. Let's go out there. And one of my favorite sayings is kindness is cool and smiles are free. So as long as we're sharing a little bit of kindness, sharing a few smiles here and there, making the world a better place, making an impact, just like you two are making an impact. I think that's the way we need to live our lives and help other people contribute to their business.
That story just gave me so many like throwback memories. You remember Pirate Bay?
Huh.
Do you remember that? Or maybe I'm
No.
the only one. Yeah. And it's just that, going from like pirate radio and Pirate Bay, and now we're in live streaming, and I mean, Pirate Bay would still be considered not legal, or it's new competitors today, but still, they're much more advanced, and it was like a big thing back then, and now it's common. It's common. So it's changed a lot.
There's something that people keep saying, and there's some people that come and say, you know what, we don't need any more content. We don't need any more blogs. We don't need any more value. They just got tons out there. I completely disagree, as you do. How do you define impactful content in today's world? And maybe if you can give us some key elements that really make content really resonate with an audience that's looking for that information.
That's a great question, Nancy. And one of the things that I like to share with clients and anyone that'll listen really is the idea that you have to continue to add value. It's not about me. It's about the individual that needs help. And imagine what you were struggling with a year ago. You were thinking about a podcast. You were thinking about live streaming. You were thinking about putting some content out there. However, a lot of people struggle with the idea that I don't have a roadmap. I'm not sure what to do next. I don't have a pathway to understand what I need to know. And a lot of challenges occur, and a lot of people just give up and say, nobody's listening. I don't have any, I'm not making any sales, because people have expectations that may not necessarily be accurate. And the reality is like what you pointed out earlier, creating content builds visibility, and it allows you to start a conversation with individuals that resonate and maybe say, I want to learn more about Nancy. I want to learn more about Anita. I would love to get on a call and figure out how they can help me or what they're doing. And, 20 people can do the same thing. And there are certain people that you build a relationship and build trust with. So it's more about what's the relationship and the value you offer, and how you can nurture that and grow that long term, I think is the most important part of the equation. It's not how many people can I get on my list, because I think a lot of people are, the influence crowd was, how many people can I influence? And what we're seeing is a backlash to that, because you can't maintain 1 million relationships. You can't maintain 100,000 relationships. However, you can have followers that you add value to, that you can do business with all of the time. And that's what it's about, is putting that value out, creating the opportunity to connect with you, and find the people that want to do business with you. Attract and engage is better than chase and convince, as my good friend Ronald Earl Wilshire says. And had a show with him too. And the reality is let's all share a little kindness and provide value, and things happen. And it takes time. It takes effort.
Yep. And just on the same topic, because, it's like the conversation of every business owner that's online, ChatGPT and all these AIs that are coming out these days. I mean, they're coming out, I think, I don't know, 20 or 30 a day. I don't know. I'm just putting a number out. It just doesn't stop, right?
Yeah.
we use ChatGPT. I mean, many of us use it, but we use it very in a very in a manner that it still speaks, our language, we'll call it. I am completely against a business that just sits there and writes on chat, hey, write me, I don't know, a marketing blog or whatever they type in there, and literally just copy and paste it and put it into your blog. Can you speak to that a little bit? The importance of, the importance of AI, but the importance of making it your own, making it
Authenticity.
researching, reaching the right prospects you're looking for, not just the prospect your competition is looking for. I mean, I could go on this. Can you speak on it a little bit?
Love to. And I'm passionate about this topic because over the years, technology is always evolving. It's changing, and I'm a lifetime learner. I love learning new things. I'm a nerd. Anita and I connect over that subject. And here's the deal: people do business with people, and if you're using a bot to present your personality, you're missing out. You're not exploring the reality of your personality, what you bring to the table. And yes, AI is a great tool to leverage the starting place, the inspiration for an idea or a topic that you could start with. However, don't limit yourself and avoid putting your personality in your content. That's why I love live streaming, and that's why I love video, is because it's right there, right here, right now, and people see me. And for the individuals that say, yeah, not my style, that's great. I don't have to waste my time talking to you. If you have a connection and you think, oh, I want to learn more about what he's talking about, make a connection. Put yourself out there and allow people to connect with you. What I call remove the friction. And if you can become visible, build your authority, remove the friction from people connecting with you, whether you're starting with AI or leveraging that to inspire your ideas or your creativity, utilize your personality in every way you can in order to accomplish your goal, because that's really where the win takes place. It's the it's you, it's the real you, and we don't have to think about it.
Are you sure about that, Russ? Like, this is not your AI generated avatar with your AI video scripted.
May or may not be me.
May or may not be. And it's so true what you said about ChatGPT and other AI tools as well. And what you said, Nancy, like, it has to still be you. It has to be still your brand and your voice that's speaking. And as much as they can emulate you, they can't really be you. So like when I use it, it's either I will go and say, okay, here's my idea, here's my insights, here's my thought that I want to portray, like give me an outline, right? Or the other way you could use it is, I'm all out of ideas. Like, give me a million ideas and, help you brainstorm. There's just so many great ways to use it and still make it sound like you and still being your thoughts and being your brand and building your authority. Because also to what Russ said, these days it has to be relevant. I mean, that's even SEO, Google algorithm, like that's what's key right now. It has to be relevant. It has to be quality. It can't just be, I'm not going to use that word, but bottom line is it has to be good content. Yeah. It can't just be whatever you want to put out there. Whoever can put out there the most is going to win. It has to be good content and it has to be relevant to what you do for it to really show up.
And it has to, if I may just continue that, it also has to, go find out what is your prospect's problem that they're having. Just because you have a competition next door doesn't mean that you have that same client. So do your research first before you start writing lots of content because somebody else says that content is really awesome. Mm-hmm. And we could go on that topic for hours.
We could. Um, I think a lot of people, though, Russ, are really hesitant to just kind of dive into content creation
Mhm.
just for the pure overwhelm because the time it could take. And once you start, like, are they expecting me to put something out every day? Like, how am I going to be able to handle all this? So I know there are great ways you can simplify that overwhelm and that process. So can we talk a little bit about some of those tools and how can we make the process of content creation easier and still relevant?
I could talk about this all day long because I'm passionate about it. And I used to teach a class called the Content Flywheel, and it's another one that a lot of people have adopted over the years, and it's just exactly what we're doing here. I mean, we're in a position where we're recording this. We're in the room. It's video right now. And then with that, we can record a video. And then what we can do is we can take this video, we can break it down to text transcription, and we could break it down to audio. So we could take the audio file and create a podcast, an audio podcast from it. And we could take the transcription and we can create blog posts. We can create snippets of information. We can create audio waves, and we could create a blog post on our own website. And we can actually take the video and slice that up into shorts, reels, stories, and actually create content. And then use tools like I use Social Pilot that allows me to schedule and draft and publish articles with over time. And so with just one show like this, I could probably create 30 pieces of content easily.
Right.
And so as a business owner, you think about, well, how much time would it take me to create 30 pieces of content when you could probably spend a little bit of time finding somebody to do this whole process for you for much less, because once that flywheel is in place, then you record your video, you record your interviews, you have somebody interview you, and you take that content and you publish multiple pieces of content. I created a brief tutorial on how I created 200 pieces of content in 10 minutes. And if you want to learn more, book a call with Russ Johns.
Book a call at justfrance.com.
Yeah. And so there's ways that you can leverage technology to remove the time, because that's what it's really about, is where do I want to spend my time? And as a business owner, you need to spend your time focused on your business, not focused on content creation, unless your business is content creation. And so you have to decide, okay, how much am I willing to invest, and how much am I willing to invest in supporting my business? And it's no different than hiring a bookkeeper or anybody else, because like Nancy said, there's a lot of noise out there. Everybody's shouting at the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
The differentiator is your personality, your relationships, and the value you add to the community. And that's the differentiator that we need to develop and grow into.
Yeah. And I think for what you just said about, say, like a podcast episode or a long video content, you can do the same thing if you wrote an ebook. How many pieces of content can you break that into? Or if you had a big master class that you recorded, another big thing now is like micro courses, like 15-20 minute courses. Like everything is more about digestible pieces of content now. And if you have these bigger pieces of content, you have so much content already that you probably can keep yourself with content for a long time going forward, and you don't even know it, right?
Yeah.
And you also said something, don't be just writing content all day unless you are an actual content writer.
Right.
I mean, what's the story of our lives, Anita? It's revenue generating activities, guys.
Yeah.
Like, hello, if you're not making enough money, you better be making revenue generating activities, right? It's not time to sit and just write 10,000 blogs.
Unless that is your job, right? Like you said.
Again, yes.
And there are a lot of people doing that for a living now. They are actual content creators.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Absolutely. And just to keep it on the same level, please, if you're a content creator, do not just write it in ChatGPT and pass it to your client. Please. It'll only embarrass yourself. Let's go somewhere else. Listen, again, I'm coming back to the importance of content, Russ.
Yeah.
How does real content help you build a brand?
Define real content.
Thank you.
You mean like original, authentic?
What should a real content be for a business? One, it should be what your prospect is looking for. There are lots of dangers that are involved if they do not figure out and understand what their client is looking for. But once they have that information, how important is that content to build your own brand? Of course, I mean, listen, relationship building is number one. For us three, we clearly get that, right? But in the last few years, people are seeing things and they're kind of forgetting the importance of that. But branding themselves is still very important as well. So what is it that's so important? If somebody would need to know, I don't know, how does good content help them build a brand?
I'm glad you asked. So think of it in terms, Nancy, and Anita, I'm sure that you've had this lesson as well, is think of the 3 stages of awareness. You have people that have no awareness whatsoever. So especially like in email, the subject line is to capture your attention to get you to click into the email. The second email or the first paragraph in the email is to make sure that you're informed and engaged and add value to the reader for them to get to learn more. Because the second stage is, I don't have enough information to purchase yet. I'm curious. I would like to learn more. So that first paragraph is the message to the individual that allows them to actually capture and continue reading. So you're taking them on a journey from unaware to curious, and then the last stage is to call to action, take an action or a step in the right direction. And we've seen the whole marketing program where it's, download this PDF or this ebook or whatever it happens to be, and we're moving into a phase where that doesn't necessarily create enough value to exchange your email for a PDF. And I think you probably got enough emails in your inbox right now, subscriptions and things like that, because there's a lot of things that I want to know and learn. However, sometimes it's overwhelming. So what you have to do and accomplish is when you do receive that email or that connection on social, you have to really develop and nurture those individuals, because what you want to do is what Kevin Kelly called 1,000 true fans. And if you have true fans that like to purchase everything that you put out and they're interested in your thought leadership, your services, your products, whatever it happens to be, if you build a relationship with that, then they're a referral partner, they're an affiliate partner, they're able to recommend you for other business owners. And that's the place that we want everybody to get to. And so you want the top of funnel, but it's not just the top of the funnel. You want to be able to have a value product in the middle, and then the nurture sequence is almost the opposite of the funnel, where you're actually creating this landmark product or service that you can actually build revenue generating material. And then under the funnel, so it's an hourglass, not a funnel. So you want to be able to create the relationships, develop the relationships, and maybe do a newsletter, maybe do a membership site, and it all takes effort. You have to decide, okay, how much effort and what am I willing to invest in this? Or you build a team that allows you to do this. And so as we're going through this process, it still boils down to what's the journey, what's the value, and what's the relationship I can build.
Mm-hmm.
So and no, that was amazing. And in that journey, it's so important to learn the benefits and the objections that these prospects are looking for. That is the information of that gathering. So please, guys, do yourself a favor before you even start writing. Know this information. What is that buyer really going through? One of the most important things.
Yeah, really, that's key. So what you were just saying, the 1,000 fans, that's what you were mentioning earlier, using content to build your community, right? And building your community is going to help you grow your business. And that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's building your tribe, as you call it.
Building your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and going back to the original point I was mentioning earlier is, if you have 1 million followers, that's great, because that's probably an attraction factor, right? There's some people out there, and if you get 1% of 1 million, you probably have a few people that you can talk to. However, it's really challenging, and social media is getting really broken up, and every platform doesn't want you to leave the platform. So they reduce your visibility. And, when you're promoting your outside effort, they want you to make sure that you're not, leaving the platform. So they don't encourage that. However, if you grow an email list and you make sure that you're developing and nurturing those individuals in your email, that helps you to develop a relationship that you can release a product, or you can release a service that they say, hey, yeah, I loved what Anita brought to the table last time. I want to be able to bring this. I want to check it out. I'm willing to bring out my wallet and invest in Anita, because they are aligned with what your goals are. They're aligned with your mission, and they're aligned with what you serve up in front of your community. And the other part of that is, once you have those pieces of the puzzle working, and if you're working online, brick and mortar, there's a couple of different strategies you can use for brick and mortar versus online business. However, a lot of people, we've gone through a period of years where people were remote work. So the landscape in marketing, the landscape in content creation is evolving. And I think that the more investment you can place in getting a newsletter, getting an email list, building relationships one-on-one, following up, just like I have my text message. If you're part of the Kindness Crew, you can actually, receive a inspirational message. I'm not selling anything. However, it's a way to stay top of mind. I post every day automatically with something that I created, that it still shows up in everybody's feed, and I still get views on it. And then when I go live or something like that, it's like another big event. It's like, oh, Russ is going live. Right. There's ways that you can do, and there's a lot of details around that. But think about live streaming. We use StreamYard. Think about using transcription services like Descript. Think about using social media sharing platforms like Social Pilot. Think about using content creation AI like Opus Pro, and think about using a CRM that you can use to follow up. I'm currently using Pipedrive, but there's a lot of others out there. And I'm a trainer for Dub, which is a video platform that has booked me thousands of calls, literally. And so all of these tools that you can use, you have to decide what you want to share, the value you provide, and the audience that you want to attract, because not everybody's the same. And the people that you want to work with and the people that you want to attract, you need to identify who they are and what value they're looking to receive. What are they needing help with? And interview people, talk to them, say, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with? And if you can provide that, that's a win, because then you can provide something they're struggling with.
I think it's important too what you mentioned about social media, and you may have 1 million followers in social media, but that doesn't mean they're your audience.
Yeah.
It's social media. A video could go viral one day, and all of a sudden you gain 10,000 followers or more. That does not mean that they are your audience, right? And it's there's always such a focus on social media and providing so much content on social media, growing your social media account, but it doesn't mean anything if they're not your audience. Is the bottom
Yeah.
line, right?
The
And
question is, will they buy something from you?
right, because social media is a rent to own service. You
Yeah.
don't own anything on social media. You are renting these people and their affection for what you're providing, the content you're putting out there. You need to now speak to your true audience and offer them something of value. They can build a relationship and get them on your email list to get them to something that's truly yours.
Yeah.
Not
I just want to make sure.
platform.
I just want to make sure people heard what Anita said. Like, the most important is, again, I'm just repeating, social media is where you are renting a space for free. You need to nurture them and pull them out of social media. Guys, that was one of the biggest thing that a lot of businesses they're not getting.
Right.
Take them out. Nurture them out of social media. Sorry, Anita, I'm letting it back on you,
No,
but I just wanted to make sure
it's a great
that
point.
sparks and people hear that.
Yeah, your metrics and growth on social media, people sit there, oh, I got another 20 followers today, 100 tomorrow, and who knows how fast I can grow. Again, if those are just random people that thought your video was funny or your quote was great, and they really have no interest in what you're actually offering, then they're not really any metrics you should even measure until you bring it in to really create a relationship.
Yeah.
True story.
Go for it. Yeah, no, it is.
What she said.
It was totally true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, a little different direction, Russ. Live streaming. I mean, it's the other thing that you do that is so important. It is a powerful tool right now in this era that we're in. How can creators and businesses best utilize live streaming to amplify their message out there and connect them with their audience? And I know you already gave a few nuggets already, but anything that you can add a little bit more for people to understand the importance of live streaming and that power that it has for them.
The challenge a lot of business owners have is time, and also being shy on camera. Everybody the first time they see themselves recorded, they hate the way they look, they hate the way they sound, they're uncomfortable with it. However, I have seen business owners accelerate their business, grow multiples, just by taking the time to practice a few techniques, become able to actually look at the camera, speak to the individual in the camera on the other side, and talk about what it is you're passionate about the business. Because I've never met a business owner that isn't passionate about what they're doing at some level. You see them perk up, and when you start asking them about their business, they get excited about talking about their business, just like I do. And the reality is once you get past the hurdle of being in front of the camera, then it's much easier, because remember what we talked about. Once you have a video component and you produce that content, you can do a lot of things with that content. Once you have a video, there's so many places and ways that you can share that and create content from that. So I'm a huge fan of live streaming, only because the urgency is there. You can create FOMO and say, hey, this is live. We're going live in 5. And there's some things that take an advantage. The other challenges with live streaming, though, is the fact that a lot of people, they may not have a break at that time. So take the video, continue to share it out, because the people that couldn't watch it, it's like a replay. Just continue to share that out, and it allow people to discover you, learn more about you, or capture the information that that you've been sharing all along.
Yeah.
But save that time. Live streaming doesn't require you to edit afterwards like a YouTube video. So
True.
you're saving a lot of time with that.
Yeah. But you do have the option if you record it and you can edit it afterwards. And
You do have the option. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have two questions in one here? But one, what advice can you give to people that are just starting out and, you know, they've been hesitant about creating content, but now they want to jump into it? And what are some of the common challenges you see to help them avoid it as they get started, if you could?
Well, number one, first and foremost, get started. Because it's like the analogy, when was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. Wow. So let's make sure that we start, and don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't get overwhelmed by the complexity, because experiments become experience. Everybody starts at zero. Mm-hmm. So, you know, not everybody's a hero at that point in time. You know, you have to go through the process of learning what works for you. What is it that drives you and your message? And the thing about getting started with that is pick a few platforms you're comfortable with. You know, I started out on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn since 2005. I started live streaming before. I actually started video on LinkedIn before LinkedIn had video. And so it was really crazy, because when I would post it, it would show up upside down. It was a crazy time. However, start building a workflow and a roadmap for your business, and just take it step by step. And then once you master that and you get comfortable with it, and it becomes muscle memory, where you know what you're going to be doing, you know what you have to do, you get in the groove, you get in that rhythm, then you can add another piece to the puzzle. You know, you can add another section or another platform or something else. You know, that's a comfort level that you're going to have to accomplish and learn about for yourself. And what I recommend is, don't get overwhelmed. Don't expect to be an overnight success because you had a great message and a thought in your head and you decided to record it. Think more about, how can I help someone out there that was struggling just like I was a while back? You know, what was that YouTube video that I looked through and I found the answer, almost 80% of the answer, but I couldn't figure out the last 20%. And I ended up hiring somebody to help me out with anyway. Think about those kinds of challenges that business owners have. Solve problems on a live stream. And here's the secret. A lot of people, even if they know the answer, they may not want to implement the answer. And that's where the business and the services come into place, as a content creator especially. You know, a lot of people know, hey, that's not something I want to do. So they delegate that. Document and delegate. So if it's not your jam, delegate it. And a business owner doesn't have to be the person on the screen. There's a lot of ways that you can implement video, live streaming, and a lot of content without having to be the talking head in the video.
Yeah. I think the most important, and please, Russ, let me know, but that's how we do it, is just be you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't be anybody else. Don't be like the guy that you like. Be you. People, when they Google you and see you, whether it's on the podcast or LinkedIn or wherever they see you, let them see the real you.
That's everyone else is taken.
Yeah.
I like that one. For those that didn't hear it, everyone else is taken. So please be you. Yeah, that was awesome. I like those words.
And I will say, when we started podcasting, because I'm one of those people, I do not like seeing myself on camera or even like hearing my voice back. I never replay our podcast after we're done. Yeah. But when we do it, there's nobody else here. It's just the three of us, right? Yeah. So that's all I'm thinking about. We're just sitting here having a conversation. It's just that.
And it's
Russ.
kind of relaxing, and you don't have to worry too much. So
Another incredible podcast, Russ. I mean, we have you to thank for being in the background. So I want to thank you. Well, we're going to thank you. Thank you for joining us every week and being there with us and just hanging out with awesome businesses and people that are making a difference in the world. And we brought you back today because you're making such an incredible difference out there in the podcasting and live stream world. And I mean, value. I mean, I get your text message every day and there's a smile every morning. Let people know also how can they get it. I know it doesn't cost them anything, but it's a really nice, it's just a beautiful quote that makes you think every day, right?
It's pretty simple. What is the link? I didn't put it in here.
No.
It's thekindnesscrew.live. Here, I'll put it in here. I'm a producer. I know how to do that.
Yes, of course.
It's nice to have you both behind and in front of the camera.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just go to thekindnesscrew.live and just text yes to the number. It's 602-830-5555.
Good number.
And it's a pretty simple equation. So there you go.
Yeah. Russ, thank you for everything. Much. Yeah, everything that you do. We're going to put you backstage, as you know. Actually, you can go and put yourself backstage.
I'll see you later.
We'll join you in a minute. Oh, always awesome to have Russ. Always awesome.
I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we're going to put him in front of the camera. He's going to have to be prepared to come back again and again. So, yeah, it's always fun to geek out and have nerd talk with Russ. It's always fun. So
yeah, and listen, the future of content creation, podcasting, and live changing, it could be like a live streaming. I mean, there's lots of news and new things that come out and changes. So yeah, we'll definitely, and new AIs that we all know.
Yeah, AI is going to play a huge role in that as it continues to develop. So just gotta keep an eye on it and see what's worth taking in and what's just keep on going, right?
Yeah. Takeaways, guys. Today, I mean, I'll start if you're okay, Anita. One, don't forget before you do anything, whether it's your podcast, your website, your, I don't know, post that you're going to put out, know who your buyer is. Mm-hmm. Know what is that buyer's journey that they are going through. Ensure that you are researching that and just not assuming. And learn what are the benefits, the objections, before they decide to who are they going to buy from. Use podcasting and live streaming and all the other tools that Russ said, from writing to blogging to video. I mean, listen, there's a whole heap. Go back and press rewind and watch this recording again. Just don't forget to do all that before, so that you are not wasting your time, your money, and your brand.
Yeah. And I would say too, what we talked about, that is just more and more important these days. And I know Russ has mentioned this too, that, it's no longer about mass media. You have to reach your audience, like you said, but it has to come from you. Like, people want to relate to the brands. They want to get to know brands. They want to know who they're doing business with. Like, share your story. Like we said in actually last week's podcast, don't be afraid to share your story. Show them who you are as a person. And that means using your original ideas, your thoughts, your voice, your values. And it has to come from you. It has to be authentic is the bottom line. And it has to be relevant and it has to be authentic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, again, so much nuggets that we've got today. I hope you all really enjoyed it. Listen, guys, we just want you to make sure that you keep in touch with Anita and myself. Learn about what else is going on with opportunities for additional information to learn from us. Don't miss out on our future episodes. You can find this recording and all our recordings on our YouTube channel at Impactful Business Voices. And please support us. Click on the subscribe button. I mean, Anita, I know you got some really great news. So
yes.
Please.
Speaking of
everybody
other
know.
opportunities, I am very excited to talk about this because I think it's going to be so much fun. We've decided we want to do a monthly hot seat episode, meaning we will bring a business owner onto the podcast to help them solve a problem they have in their business real time. Talk them through it, give them best practices and new strategies to make it happen and get through whatever challenges they're going through. And I know that business owners go through the same issues. Yes, there are, there are differentiations and, variations of all the problems, but at the bottom line is we all go through the same issues, and we're going to recognize that in each other. So I know that everybody's going to get so much out of that. So if you want to participate, if you have a problem you want to bring up, you want to discuss, and you want to participate in this, reach out to us either via LinkedIn to either one of us, or you can email us at info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com, and we have a form for you to fill out to provide us information about your problem and who you are and all those fun things. And you can get on the wait list, and we'll find a time to bring you on. So super excited. I can't wait for the first episode, which we have yet to define, but it will be coming soon.
Yes, and don't forget, guys, we've got a different business every week, well, almost every week, with our lounge and our new hot seat. But please, if you are making an incredible impact in this world, please connect with us. We want to share.
We want to hear
We
about
want
it.
to, we want to let the world know what you do, how you make a difference. So please don't. And if you're hesitating, let's just have a conversation together. And then we'll go from there, right, Anita?
Yeah, definitely.
Guys, until next week, go make an impact.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.